Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chantel, and today I'm going to talk about some books that I recently purchased. I'm going to do a bit of a book haul. I've been really good about not buying books the past month or so, largely because I've got vacation coming up and I'm sort of, trying to save my money for when I'm on vacation. But just yesterday, one of my local libraries did a sort of one day only pop-up book sale. And I love a library sale. I love my local libraries. I love a library sale. You get lots of books for really cheap, and all of the proceeds go back to support my libraries. So it's a win-win situation. There's no downside as far as I'm concerned. So I trucked over to the library and bought myself a bunch of books. I also bought my 5-year-old nephew a few picture books off of this book sale. Hopefully he'll enjoy those. I like to be the fun aunt who gives him all the cool books, so but yeah, so I'm gonna go through the books that I bought for myself. Today I bought eight books for myself, so not bad. Again, I love the library sale. I love just being able to sort of walk around, find little hidden gems, things that I didn't expect to find. There's always something that pops up that I've never even heard of before, or something that I have heard of before and had never really expected to purchase for myself, but it's right there and it's $1, so I might as well. So it's always fun to do. So let's just go through what I bought. The first one I got was, I found this Norton Critical Edition of Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert. I've never read Madame Bovary. Most of the classics that I purchase are secondhand. I tend to buy all my classics pretty much secondhand. One or two I get brand new, but this is usually where I find the good classic picks. There's a lot of, looks like, editorial stuff here. It's a new, well, for the time, a new translation of it, and it includes a number of essays and stuff at the back by various scholars, which I always enjoy, actually. I like reading a classic and then reading some criticism about it, reading some critical thinkers, some scholars who are doing work on the text itself and sort of analyzing it. I always enjoy that when I'm reading classics. So yeah, and I generally really like Norton Critical Editions. I have the Norton Complete Shakespeare, which is also really, really good and has a lot of really great annotations and editorial stuff in it. So yeah, looking forward to reading this one at some point. I picked up a few fun things. I grabbed this copy of The Restaurant at the End of the Universe by Douglas Adams. This is the sequel to The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I don't think I've read this one, actually. I've read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy several times, though I don't own it. But this was sitting there. It was $1. Might as well pick it up. I like Douglas Adams. I like Hitchhiker's Guide. So this should be a fun time. I also found this copy of Old Man's War by John Scalzi. I've read a couple of Scalzi books. I read Red Shirts, which I really liked. And I've read one other of his. I can't think of the title. I'll probably put the title of, I'll find it and put the title up in editing. But I haven't read Old Man's War. I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's like a sci-fi space opera. And yeah, I do like John Scalzi. I think he's a good writer. I think he's got a good sense of humor. I enjoy his prose. So yeah, this was sitting there and I was like, sure, I've heard of that. I'll pick it up. And then I also found this copy of The Last Quintista just sitting there. There's no dust cover on it, but it is The Last Quintista. Has no dust cover, but I don't care. I know this is another like sci-fi book that's a little bit more recent, by Donna Barba Higuera. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. This seems to be a little bit out of the ordinary of what you would normally read in sci-fi. and a little bit more infused with like Mexican or Latin American mythology and magic. So I'm really interested in reading this. So yeah, good find actually. I was really shocked to find this one actually, because I heard this seems to be pretty recent. Yeah, it's 2021, so it's only a few years old. So interesting find. Yeah, it must have, I don't know, because there's no dust cover or anything on it, so who knows where it came from. I assume it was a library book at one point, but lost the dust cover. And then I picked up this Mary Robinette Kowal book, Of Noble Family. I've read a few of these in this series. It's called The Glamorous Histories. This is a Regency historical fantasy series, and I'm not sure which one this is at this point. I should probably, honestly, at some point I should reread these, because it's been a long time, and I don't even know, like, where this one is in the series, where this one sits. And I don't know if they're standalones or not. I just sort of saw this and was like, oh yeah, I've read a couple of those. I've read some of her stuff. I'll just pick it up. Again, it was, hardcover is a $2 hardcover, so so yeah, I'll read it at some point. I'm a sucker for historical fantasy, so, and I like Regency stuff. Regency era stuff is fun. So yeah, this is up my alley and a good find. Then I picked up, this is the Best American Science Fiction and Fantasy 2022 short story collection. This is edited by Rebecca Roanhorse, whom I love. I really love her writing. I've read several of her books, and I enjoy all of them. And so the fact that she's the editor of this collection tells me that I will probably enjoy a lot of these stories. I didn't even look to see what authors are involved in this. So P. Djeli Clark is in here. Catherine Valenti is in here. Stephen Graham Jones is in here. So yeah, sounds like a good time. I'll definitely be reading this. I am, wanting to read more short stories. So this is a good addition to my collection, I think. That's all the fiction that I purchased. I did purchase a couple of nonfiction books as well, because I'm a sucker for like a history book. I'm also a sucker for a little bit of a true crimey history book. So I found this, Little Demon in the City of Light, a true story of murder and mesmerism in Belle Epoque Paris. I'd never heard of this. I just saw it on the shelf. I just saw it sitting there, and I was like, that sounds interesting. So I picked it up, and we'll see how it goes for me. I'm a sucker for this sort of specific niche of like history nonfiction, is like sort of true crimey stuff. I like that. I'm not really into like contemporary true crime, but if it's something that happened like 100 years ago or more, then yeah, I'm into it. So this should be interesting. It sounds like an interesting story. And then the final book I purchased is again another one of those that like I'd heard of, but it was like, well, it wasn't really super high on my radar, but it was sitting there, and I thought, well, might as well. And that's Team of Rivals, The Political Genius of Abraham Lincoln. This won the Pulitzer Prize. And yeah, I mean, I'm interested in the subject matter, and it's a nice, big, thick chunker of a book. It should be a fun read, I think. I'm a history buff. I like American history. Civil War is a really fascinating period in American history, and Abraham Lincoln is a particularly interesting person, and the people that he surrounded himself with were also generally pretty interesting. So, yeah, this should be good. Again, all these were just sort of impulse buys at a library sale. So they're going to go on my TBR shelf, and hopefully I'll enjoy all of them. But if not, it's no big deal, because I bought them for $1 at a library sale, which is great. As always, library sales are awesome. I love libraries. If you have access to a library, You should absolutely make use of it. They're great. They have excellent resources, and yeah, libraries rock. That's all I've got for today. As always, if you like what you see, like, subscribe, comment below if you've read any of these books, if you're interested in any of these books, if you've been to a library sale recently, if you've had any interesting finds at library sales or at secondhand bookshops, let me know. I always like to hear about that. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.